Good morning from Westminster. Labour have won a landslide victory in the general election on a dramatic night in British politics.
We did it!
It is a spectacular turnaround for Sir Keir Starmer's party less than 5 years after their worst result in almost a century.
The sunlight of hope, pale at first, but getting stronger through the day, shining once again on a country with the opportunity after 14 years to get its future back.
The Tories are set for the worst result in their history, losing 8 cabinet ministers, including Grant Shapps and Penny Mordaunt. More than 40 Tory ministers and whips have gone so far.
The British people have delivered a sobering verdict tonight. There is much to learn and reflect on, and I take responsibility for the loss.
And humiliation for the former Prime Minister Liz Truss. She has lost her seat in South West Norfolk, narrowly defeated by Labour by just over 600 votes.
We will be bringing you the very latest live from Westminster on a day of huge change with just 9 seats left to declare. Celebrations for the Liberal Democrats returning more than 70 seats and becoming the 3rd largest party in the House of Commons.
A difficult and damaging night for the SNP, according to Scotland's First Minister, down to just 8 MPs as Labour regains dominance in Scotland.
Nigel Farage becomes an MP on his 8th attempt as Reform UK win 4 seats, taking large numbers of votes from the Conservatives.
And the Greens now have 4 MPs, with the party's co-leader taking Bristol Central from a senior Labour politician.
In Wales, Labour won back a string of seats, completely wiping out the Conservatives, with Plaid Cymru winning 4.
And in Northern Ireland, Sinn Féin has won the most seats for the first time, but significant losses for the Democratic Unionist Party, including Ian Paisley in North Antrim, a seat held by his family for more than 50 years.
Good morning from Westminster on a day of history. A Labour landslide after 14 years in opposition, a spectacular turnaround in fortunes.
Yes, good morning. It's a day of huge change. It's a day of transition, and there could well be more surprises to come in the hours ahead. And we're going to be here all day with you, right in the heart of the action, the very wet action this morning, as the new Labour government is formed and as Sir Keir Starmer heads to the palace to become the new Prime Minister, with a forecast majority now of 176.
Well, we are here right by the Houses of Parliament, and this morning we're going to be talking to politicians, old and new, experts and advisors who will be looking back at an extraordinary night and looking forward to what happens next. Overnight, some of the most familiar faces in British politics have lost their seats. The former Prime Minister Liz Truss, Jacob Rees-Mogg, Grant Shapps, Penny Mordaunt, all gone.
There are so many stories to unpack for you this morning. We have a team of BBC presenters in all the right places. They are at Downing Street, at Buckingham Palace, they're in Glasgow, Belfast, Cardiff, and we're going to hear from voters right across the UK. Wherever you live, however you voted, whatever you think of these results that we're showing you this morning, we will guide you through everything as it all unfolds.
We certainly will. Now, as we now know, Labour has won the general election by a landslide, with Sir Keir Starmer set to become the next Prime Minister.
The party has gained its biggest majority since Sir Tony Blair's victory back in 1997, at the expense of huge losses for the Conservatives. Before we go forward, let's bring you all up to date and explain what has happened overnight.